Alright, so today I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to get this turned right, a little bit about acid-free. And it is my favorite adhesive for my pictures, and that's why I have little Levi holding it in my paper, my picture that was on Facebook, because it has this wonderful little note right here that says, it's kind of hard to see, but it says non-toxic. So I was really excited to know that I could put it in his hands and not panic, because the bottle I gave to him was open and just a tad bit spilling out everywhere. And I didn't worry because I knew it was probably going to be okay. But acid-free is the only thing I use on the back of my photos now. Not only is it secure, but I know that it's gonna, not yellow. It's just the perfect lasting adhesive. So I'm gonna use this a little later when I do my page, but I'm gonna show you how I use it, and you're gonna laugh at me. My 13-year-old said I cannot share this, but I have to be honest. I don't use the tip to apply, and I don't like to get my hands dirty, although I use a lot of messy things. It's just it's not for me. So I put it on, well, we all get these in the mail, don't we? A shipping box piece, and I use a paintbrush and I paint. This picture is going on my layout today when I'm done, but I paint the back of my picture. I set it down. Not only is it really even like this, but I don't have to get it everywhere because it's going to spread a little bit, and I don't have to use, usually I use tweezers. I really do not like getting my hands messy. And then you can see that it's nice and even, and this is the piece that's going to go on later, so I'm going to just put it right on. Sorry, I'm reaching over you. And then I just use something to kind of smooth it out, and I'm using these a lot today, so that's why I'm using these. And then I just let it sit for a while, and this is my favorite way to do it. I use the glue spreaders for my paper. Someone said the glue spreaders. I love the glue spreaders, but I'm kind of messy, so for the pictures I use paintbrush. Yeah, my kids, they play with those things like paint, but we put them in a Ziploc bag first, and then they can play inside the Ziploc bag because that's less messy. So we do play and get messy, but in a less messy way. Alright, so that's how I do this, and then I just always keep a pretty little teacup. If my friend Chelsea is watching, this is the one you just gave to my girls. Thank you. And this is how my kids use acid-free too. Just as a side note, I either have them use a paintbrush or Q-tips, and I put them in little containers, and I let them use it that way. That way I can share just a little bit and not a lot with them, but they can still join in the fun too. I'm so glad you guys are so nice and messy. So next, I'm gonna use, just for time's sake today, this to put the embellishments back, and then I'm gonna come back to the acid-free at the end and just go over that as I do my layout with it. On my phone, I'm gonna shut it off. Oh, okay, how do I allow links in the chat? I'm sorry. Got it. I've just figured it out. So now you can start linking up. If someone could link up where to find acid-free and more information, then I will go over a couple more things at the end, but that would be great. And I promise the next time I do this I'll be even more on it, but for today I'm a little nervous. So back to the quick dry. This is going to be used today because it's just a little faster. It literally dries well, as fast as I need it to. So I am going to show you 2 embellishments that we can put onto my page, and just how we can use squares today. So the 2 things that I'm going to show are here, and this is a basic pinwheel. Most people probably know how to make this, but I'm just going to show how I do it with Helmar products. And then this flower is made from squares, and we're going to embellish the one we make a little more, and I'm also going to show how fast it would be to make it a sunshine too, because it is summer. So just bear with me. So the first thing you need to do is punch a circle, or a scallop circle in my case, something for the back of your first flower. It doesn't have to be fancy, and it really doesn't matter what it looks like. No one will ever see it. And put a bunch of quick dry on it. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how I fold all my squares in half, because I do not have time to use a bone folder most of the time, and that sometimes gets me a little more upset when I'm using it because it doesn't come out exactly even. So I came up with a trick, and I'm going to use a paintbrush and some water, and you're just going to like draw a line down the middle of your square, and then it should fold right in half. And I like it myself because I can add extra distressing on it if I want, but this is the fastest way for me to fold these evenly. And it doesn't really matter if the line is even, it just gives you a base. So I always have a paintbrush and a little thing of water on my desk for this type of situation or anything else. I'm using a 2-sided paper, which is really important if you want it to have the same kind of I don't know if you can see here, like it just has a little edging all the way around. So if you want it to pop out and stand out on your page, then you probably want to use a double-sided paper. You need about 20 or a little less. Now, how I cut these is I use this strip. I started with this, to be honest. I cut a bunch of squares with a square maker, and I didn't like the size, so I instead cut a 1 1/4 inch strip of my 12-inch paper, and I cut a lot of them, and it took about 20 1/4-inch squares to make this particular flower. You guys keep waving at me. It's making me less nervous. Lots of waving. I thought the sun was coming out today, but it's not so bright, so I hope you guys can see all right. I can turn on a light if you guys need. Oh, commercial, yeah. So I'm going to do a couple more of these so I just know that I have enough. And then we can start layering them up. Just grabbing a piece of cloth to dry any of my wet spots. Oh, 90. Yeah, it's not going to be 90 here. It was sunny here. It just went behind a cloud, I hope, and it's coming back. All right, back to this circle or any circle you may have punched out. What you can do is I'm just gonna make a big dab. You can use a lot because no one's going to see this. It's going to be covered up with an embellishment on the top too. So I'm just going to use a lot so I can just do it without adding glue over and over, which I'll add a little, but this way I don't need to add a lot. What you're going to do is start layering them by leaving them a little bit open and just going all the way around and kind of tucking so all the corners meet in the center, but they're a little bit open. Let me see if I can hold that up. So they're like grabbing each other. 30 minutes, yeah, about 30 minutes. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. I'm telling you, it looks not so great yet. All right, now I'm going to start smushing it down just a little bit, just to see where I'm at. So that's about halfway around. You can kind of see what is happening. And if you like them flat, at this time I would probably take, I love this tape runner. Tell me exactly what it's called. Missy. I want to say it correctly. But I might take it and put it on the insides. lolHelmar Quick Fix Adhesive Runner. I might put it in the insides to have it stay if that's the look you're going for. I'm looking for something a little more distressed, so I'm not going to put my edges down. But I'm going to push this more towards the center, and I'm going to add a little more glue here. And luckily it came bubbling up at me because it was so excited. And when I got to the last piece of this, to make it just fit right, I'm just gonna cut right into my water, cut a little piece off of this, just so it's not in the way and I can still have that same tucked look that I'm looking for. And it just finishes it off without having to, and this one's giving me a hard time, so I'm going to cut this one too. A few of them last time I just cut. And if you see those lovely strings on my hands, that's just my lovely 450. Woohoo! Yep, just like that. All right, so here is the flower, and I am going to leave that to dry, and then we will embellish this beautiful little flower in a minute. But you can see how it kind of will look like a sun, a flower, or a pinwheel, depending on how you lay everything out. So I'll set that aside. I made that up myself, so if you like it, it's all me, and if you don't, it's okay too. The papers that I'm using today are found in the Hip to Be Square May scrapbook kit. I didn't write down all of the manufacturers, but I did find all of my products that I'm using today, with the exception of ones that I'll hold up like tools and stuff, were found in that kit. And I love that kit, so I'm having a really fun time, and I'll share a bit more about that on my personal blog with pictures and close-ups of the layout that I'm putting these embellishments on. Hip to Be Square May Hip Kit. Alright, so now we're going to make the second type of embellishment for this page. And it's just a basic pinwheel. I'm so glad I'm recording this so I can watch it back and see where I need to fix things or move things next time. And you're all being so kind to me. Thank you, Erica. That's exactly the link, and I'm real excited to share that because they know I'm on today and using their pretty stuff. So making a pinwheel is really easy. I have a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. This is my go-to size for a pinwheel. I love larger sized, and 3.5 by 3.5 makes it this size, and in comparison to my scissors, this is what we're looking at. So almost the whole length. Did you see me shaking? So I'm working on a pinwheel right now, kind of a flowery pinwheel, and that's why I said that, because I'm not adding a stick or anything. I may add some stitching to my finished layout, but I won't be sharing that today. I'm also going to be finishing a flower we already made in a little bit. I didn't do the finishing part of that yet. It's still drying. Almost dry. That's quick dry for you. So what you're going to do is kind of eyeball a center mark for your pinwheel. And then you're going to, in all four corners, just kind of cut towards that center mark, but leave that little circle as a guide for your mind. You certainly could put a little punch circle on there if you're worried about cutting in too far on one end. But these are very forgiving. You can mess them up and they still look wonderful. So you could even cut like one end way too long, and when you twirl them all around, they look just as beautiful. So the next thing you do is you have all of your corners cut in towards the center, and you're just going to choose whichever one you would like to start with. I'm again going to use the quick dry and put a little dab in the center. And I'm actually really happy. This is a little bit dry. That's going to help for this demonstration, but normally I would clean it off first and then do that. And then you're just gonna choose one side, and I like to, I'm just doing what I always do, which I like to bunch a little bit and make sure my corners are round and that I don't get a crease and it doesn't fold down like this, but I really love a bunched pinwheel. And then you're going to skip a corner and you're just going to come to the next corner. And usually I go 2 corners before I add just a little more quick dry, and I'm just going to bunch again and make it as bunchy as I can. And what's great is I'm going to use some scrap dots to put the embellishment on. So these bunches are so workable. I'll show you that, whereas with a different adhesive it would be almost impossible. Alright, I'm going to add a little more quick dry. Nice. Okay, so you skip a corner, you do it again. and then the same thing one more time. I'm going to tuck this one under here. And then I'm just bunching them again. Ooh, it's not, I didn't hold long enough. That's not Helmar's fault. I'm telling you, that's my fault. So I'm just going to hold that for a little bit longer. Or add more adhesive. Oh, no, see, it was my fault. It is so different than any other adhesive. I love that. All right, so there's my pinwheel. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my pinwheel, so hopefully it looks as nice to you as I'm hoping it's going to look. And I am going to now pull out scrap dots, which I have a confession. The first time I got these, I didn't know how to open them, and this is totally not a video about scrap dots, but there's a little thing on the top here. Apparently I don't use hardware stuff either. My husband showed me, he's like, look, there's a thing. I was using my paper piercer. It's just not, there's a thing. Just use the thing. So I'm going to squeeze a very lot of this in here because I want it to stand. It looks like a Hershey's Kiss. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see how lovely that looks? And then I'm going to, oh well, help me choose. Do you guys have a preference? I'm going to stick one of these beautiful circles on top. What do you think? I have, okay, someone says stripe. So I have one stripe with like a red. Oh, the yellow. Oh, I like the yellow too. Oh, the yellow. The 450 is 7 in a bottle. I'm there. I love it. Okay, the yellow. All right, I'm going to use the yellow. And I'm just going to set it gently on top, and I'm not going to squash it because I want the beautiful pop dottiness of it. The scrap dots will dry like this, so I want it to dry. Okay, so now I've got it stuck, and I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish this off because this takes a little more time than I have to. I kind of like the stripe now. How I'm going to finish off this particular pinwheel is with, oh gosh, I have an Epiphany Craft secret, but I have to keep it. The less you squash, the higher the dimension. Yes, I want lots of dimension. So I used my, I'm reaching over, sorry, round 20 button maker from Epiphany Crafts. This is old style, where they still have their movable button part, but they do not make them like this anymore. They are even more amazing. But this one is just as amazing to me. I absolutely love it, and it takes any paper you already have and makes something better. So I am going to finish this off. I'm just going to quickly add some twine. And you can't see me doing this, I'm so sorry. I promise it doesn't look that cool, so especially since I'm putting the twine in my mouth to stick it through. Oh, you told my secret. So we're going to have a partnering week with Epiphany Crafts, and so I am going to share again a little more in depth about pairing the two later in the month when we do that. In 2 weeks even. Alright, I'm sorry this is taking so long. This twine is telling me it wants to unravel. Okay, I'm I'm just tying now the twine onto the button here. Trimming the ends off. Yes, I just wiped that onto my floor. Some of my friends might not believe I just did that. And I won't glue that down quite yet because I'm waiting on the scrap dots, but this is what, oop, I'm not going to glue it down, so that is what the pinwheel will look like. And I'm going to put close-ups of all of these on my blog for you guys so you can see them in a better light, just because I'm dealing with a little lack of sun. Alright, I'm going to wipe everything, all these messy things out of the way, I hope, and come back to the original flower I made. For those who joined late, I just want to show, I took strips of 1 1¼ inch by 12 inches and cut them into 1¼ inch squares. I then took my squares and took a paintbrush and brushed some water across and folded them all in half. Then I took a circle and I glued them around the circle until it looked like this. And now it's time to finish. This is nice and dry, and like I said, the back totally doesn't matter, whatever scrap paper you have. And now I need to choose a circle again. So I have some striped circles, another yellow one, a different blue one. I need some help because I didn't choose which one I was going to use. So can you see them? This time the stripes. Maybe this one, or with a pop of red. I'm going for the red too. Good thinking. And this time I'm going to use the tape runner. I'm going to put the tape on first, and I stuck it to my finger, and I'm just going to use the cutter bees that I have on my desk, and just being who I am, I'm going to distress the edges. Does anyone know if I've said wicked a lot? Because it's wicked cool. And it's wicked easy. Good. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the center, just like that. And now I'm going to, again, just put a button here, like this, if I wanted, in the center. Or, like I said, you can leave it plain. I also cut orange pieces, so I could show you that this could be made like a sunshine too. You just basically would go all the way around and then maybe put yellow inside. And so this little shape here really has a lot of options, and it's so easy to do, and it's a great way to use up little strips that you have like this. If you cut some papers down for a layout and you don't know what to do with the strip, and you don't want to make a flower that's going to take you so long, you could just make up some squares. And I loved this idea, just because, yeah, I like to use every little piece of my paper. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm not going to make the sun in favor of showing you the layout that I'm working on. So I'm going to quickly clear all of my mess here and put my layout down and show you how I use just squares on my layout and add some of the embellishments that are already dry that I made earlier. Okay, I pre-cut everything for my layout earlier, and everything here besides the banners are squares. I thought that went good with what I was showing today, because I think the square is often the forgotten shape, and the rectangle and the circle are shared a little more. If you have 6x6 paper pads, this is a great tip for how to make a quick page with 6x6 pads too. Alright, so I am going to find, I had my red tool right here, and I still do, and I'm going to use this to apply the paper to my layout, and I'll get that all done. Back to my non-messy way to do it. Can you see me? I'm covering a big space, so I just started using the bigger end, but you'll notice for the other papers I'll use the other end, and for squishing it out, I would normally use this end for squishing the paper back down, rubbing the paper back down. That might be a better word. All right. Oh, and you may have wondered where I get some of these circles. I love double layering my cardstocks. It's just something I started doing last year, and I'm just really falling in love with it. So I just use as much of it as I can before I do that. Just gonna grab this, and I just kind of push across. Until it comes to where I like it. Now, what I can't show you today is I'm going to use, I cut the whole middle out. Oh, I used to do that too, but I really love the thickness of my pages now, and they all look so nice in my book because they're nice and thick, and that's why I started leaving a lot of the backing on. Sorry, thank you, Erica, for saying where we're at and all of that. So now if you have a couple of 6x6 sheets of paper, I think I was saying I would normally sew these down, and I will add the stitching after, but just to show you the process without the stitching, I have an edge distresser. It's so nice, I love it, but I use these more than anything. It's just makes a rougher, I'm really gonna be rough with my paper here. Is that loud? And scissors are cheap, so you probably have some at your house. The more dull, the more interesting I think they look on your page. And so I'm just roughing up to so once I have them, then I'm just going to play with my edges like this. And this is a messy that's great because I'm not getting my hands dirty. And I'm glad you're showing that. What am I showing since I don't have an edgy thing? Oh, to use my scissors. Yes, that is the trick for me. Okay, so once I have it, I kind of flatten it out and pull up the edges so some of the red shows, or orange, whatever colors. Sometimes I fold, like kind of folding it over, and just make it as messy as I can. And then I just, this probably just for now, I think my kids are getting a little restless and they're being so good. I'm just going to use, this is what's great if I get in a hurry. I won't use this around my pictures, although I'm sure you can, Erica, right? You could use the runner would be great for your pictures too, but I'm a little hooked on the acid free, so I have to be honest. I just love that I know no yellowing. Okay, so once I have the first piece down, I went back and forth whether to show you how I put a layout together, because this is like a very personal thing, I think, to put a layout together and kind of show a little piece of that live. So I don't know. The tape is acid free too, so no worries with the tape. It's just a personal preference at that point if you would prefer to use that. Okay, so then I'm just gonna put I'm gonna machine stitch this. I should explain why I'm using this. Is the Helmar Quick Fix adhesive tape. Am I right? Good. I'm going to machine stitch this, so I'm just putting little bits. Certainly if you want to put a little more than that, that would be fine, but I love my sewing machine. Okay, so I'm just going to go right here with that. All right, this piece I'm just adding in, and this one I'm not going to be distressing, because I like to add the element of this is distressed, this is not. So this one's going here. I also am adding a couple of extra pieces in here that are not going to be distressed either. Just sticking with the whole square theme. Add some of this, some of this ribbon, which I'm also machine stitching in this case, so I'm just going to slip it in to where I like it. Okay, I am adding a little acid free on the back, so I'm making some little banners here. And it gives me just a second. See, I had moved it around. It does give me a second to move it around. These banners had adhesive on the back, but I chose to mount them on white paper. Now, I've done this with some stickers before, and they have come off about a year down the road. So I actually also use some acid free to connect my banners to my white paper. I'm just being a perfectionist here and trying to get it exactly so it meets. Yay, just like that. Okay. And then again, so this is the thing, I've been playing with this and it's not as sticky anymore, and this is great for your stickers because, you know, sometimes you play with them and then you're wondering what to do now that they're not sticky as much anymore. So that's when I go and just smear a little of that acid free on it. and add it right in. And plus that's good if you don't want the whole thing sticking down. The banners are fun now. Everyone likes to flip them up and down and everywhere else. Or get glitter or embossing powder on the back. That would be messy. So I'm not sure I would have them on the back because I might use something to apply my glitter with. That wouldn't be so messy. Super organized. Did someone call me organized? Glitter, what is that? Yeah, sorry about the advertisements. They come on every little bit. So now I'm going to add, this is one of those lovely pinwheels and I've just layered it. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about. My stickers are falling off of this and I've only played around with this a couple of times, so I'm really happy for the acid free that I can just go over, grab a little, put it on, and just know that this is going to stick forever and ever. And you can see the nice layering of this. That is just that lovely scrap dots that gave it all that height there. You can do ad block with Firefox and you don't see the commercials. That is really good to know. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm adding the adhesive over to the side. And then I'm just going to add this on the page. I think I like it about there. This page still needs some stitching and some kind of finishing work. I'm also going to be adding some washi tape, and if you love washi tape, you probably want to check out the Helmar blog. Can someone put a link to what did I make? What did I do? Carissa, yes. Someone wants to put a link to that washi tape holder because I only have 4 washies. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a little jealous of those who have so many, but what I do have I use well, and this came in that I shared earlier that I'm using the May Hip Kit from Hip to Be Square, and conveniently it came with some washi tape. I'm so excited, and I'm actually going to add that on either side, but I'm going to do my stitching first, so you will have to wait. Erica, am I going to be able to post on the Helmar blog today my finished projects? And I will definitely post on my own blog. Wonderful. So that you can see them all done. I'm also going to add some really fun buttons that I just threw on there, and I'm going to gather some ribbon. I wonder if you have any questions? Oh, well, don't worry about if you have a lot of washi, because you could just share with me. I'll take free donation. Oh, all my kids just came in the house. Can you hear them? They were so good. They stayed out 15 minutes longer than I asked them. Oh, a prize, yes. Erica, you'll have to tell me when you would like me to stop recording, if you'd like me to ask some questions first, or if I should just shut it off. Hold on 1 minute.
Sophie said we can have both of yogurt.
You can have yogurt? Okay, go with Sophie. Sorry.
Yogurt pops at the neighbors.
They're all there. Should I stop recording, Erica? Ask questions. Does anyone have any questions about what I used or made? Anything that I especially could address maybe too on a blog post if I left something out? Thank you. I I feel like I need more practice, but I hope it was something that could be helpful to someone. I had fun. I'm going to do all my sessions in the morning when I do them. I'm going to be doing them twice a month, and I am going to do them in the morning when I do mine, just because that's easier for me and for my family. Yay! Someone who watches this will be able to post on the blog that they watched it, and they will be able to have a chance of winning maybe one of the products that I used today. Good. So I'll keep my timing at the same time. It'll be 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully I'll start punctually next time, and I'm really excited about what I'm showing next time. I just started that last night, so thank you. Oh, on the Facebook page. Thank you, Erica.